to the talk. Extraordinary footage has emerged on the social media site TikTok in which an asylum seeker chronicles his perilous journey across the Channel to the UK. The man, thought to be an Afghan national, documents his train journeys through France before making his way with other migrants to the coast. We then see him grinning while perched precariously on a tightly packed dinghy, crammed with women and children, before it's intercepted by British lifeboats. The clip ends with him and a friend kicking back in comfortable accommodation, believed to be one of 400 UK migrant hotels currently housing up to 50,000 asylum seekers at a cost of £6 million per day. Well, with more than 18,000 migrants having made the same journey this year already, there are fears videos like this are only fueling demand for people smugglers and small boat crossings. I mean, these videos make my blood boil. They are basically adverts for more people to come over. They are adverts for people who do not need to make this journey. I argue that nobody actually needs to make this journey. I can see JJ's thinking about coming in here. But the reality is that a lot of these people making these crossings are economic opportunists. And I have to say, I'm not sure we can blame them for giving it a go. After all, they're assured a very nice reception here. They are well looked after for a very long period. And statistically, they have an incredibly high chance, however genuine or otherwise their claim may be, to having their case accepted. Richard and I have been doing some work on this actually and looked at the way that caseworkers for asylum seekers, the ones that actually conduct the crunch interviews with asylum seekers, which decide whether or not they can stay or not, the guidance they get from the Home Office. And what is extraordinary about that, the rules for the caseworkers doing the interviews, is that it is so tilted to saying yes. It is so tilted to approving the claim, even to the point that they are told that these applicants, even if they lie, and they're obviously lying, that shouldn't be a disqualification. I mean, this stuff is absolutely jaw-dropping.
Just explain to us a bit more, how else is it tilted to a yes, not a
no? We can give you many examples of that, but right at the top, it says you should not fundamentally adopt a position of scepticism. I mean, it's quite the opposite. You should, as an interviewer, adopt a position of scepticism if you're looking. That should be your starting point, given what we know about where most of these, or many of these claims begin. So if you're starting with an instruction that says, don't be sceptical, be nice. And by the way, it's probably not well known that the vast majority of these interviews are conducted by Zoom. That creates a whole other problem, and the Home Office acknowledges it in its guidance, of the person doing the interview not even knowing if the person on the other end of the camera is a genuine applicant, or is it a stand-in? Is it a stand-in who's very articulate and very, very good at playing the system? So I just, this stuff, it makes me despair.
I mean, there are so many problems with this TikTok video, and the way that we all know it's going to be received. It's going to be received. 90% of people are going to be outraged, and then their response to it will be a variety of responses. It'll either be, yes, this is an advert. Or, I mean, and I'm, you won't be surprised to know, a bit of sitting on both sides of the fence. I'm worried in the way that this is going to inflame people, because that scares me, that the reaction will be very, very angry and will intensify the toxicity of the debate that there already is around immigration. And of course, I'm not saying that you're doing that. You've been digging into some really practical issues. And one of the things I've been obsessing about, we've all been obsessing about over the last few years, last few months, is the backlog. And what you're talking about is how to get rid of the backlog. But this video frightens me.
But I'm not surprised that they're documenting it. Why wouldn't you? Because, it's an exciting journey for them. And indeed, why wouldn't you show what the situation is? Do. But I think what it does show, and I think what we really have to get to the bottom of too, is the difference between need and want. I'm very aware that there are lots of reasons why you would want to come to this country. I'm also very aware that people have family and friends and they hear about it and all that stuff too. But what I'm concerned about is that we in this country, but also generally across Europe, have got it completely wrong in terms of just understanding what the rules are, implementing them across the board and making sure that they're fair and reasonable, and also processing. We've got to speed up the processing. This thing's costing fortunes.
But when you look at the guidance for it's not guidance, it's actually rules for the caseworkers dealing with this. It's no surprise we've got a gargantuan backlog because migrants can stop or thwart or frustrate the process at any point.
I think if we're going to make a deterrent, then it needs to be something like only women and children are put in hotels, and the men who come over, like they have in France, like the UN do in lots of their camps, are put in tents. And maybe this is a small step towards making it less appealing. Because at the moment, obviously...
I'm loving the fact you're suggesting this.
I mean, only because I'm at my wit's end with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People
but I think we all are. We're empathetic.